Get my microphone on here so anyone can hear me. Calling the meeting at 9:12. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
See, we have a roll call.
Culver,
Here.
Mr. Bailey,
Here.
here.
Next is introduction of city staff.
Glenn Urquhart, Chief Building Official, City of Daytona Beach.
Mary, project manager, permits and licensing.
Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city.
Thank
Deputy
you.
City attorney.
Thank you, everyone. We need an approval of the minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes as written.
And we have a second? Okay. If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. New case. Case A, BP 2022-0076, 1047 Madison Avenue, appeal of notice of condemnation and demolition order.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, form. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Glenn Urquhart, Chief Building Official. So this is 1047 Madison Ave. We'll go through as far as a presentation on the 6 buildings. This is the aerial shot. You got to your right is Nova Road, and then we're on Madison Ave. And we'll go to the buildings. These are from 11/29/22 to 12/16/25. Building number 1. So on this is present as far as all the debris and everything that's out there from heavy infiltration of the homeless and all the trash that's not only what you see there, but inside is just as bad as, if not worse. That's where they push the plywood out so they vent. Get some sunlight in there. You can see all the doors. The building off to the left, the storage, that's the second building. Immediately to the right of that, that is where the police identified the dead person, which was right inside that room right there. This, as we go through, as far as the junk, litter, and debris, it's in all of the building. It's pretty much the same, as well as you can see the ceiling falling down up above. All of them are leaking as far as the roof, so you have the mold and mildew buildup. This is building number 3. Roof and walls all compromised. Back there on the panel on the back side, everything's falling off. Everything's overrun with weeds and vegetation. That's an outside shot from on the 3rd building. You can see the dilapidated roof as well as the walls on the outside. There's a close-up view of the roof. Roof would have to be completely redone, walls redone. This is building 4, which was that. They were putting a roof on there and renovating. That was without a permit. Then we posted it as far as for subject to collapse, and it did. So you go to the previous picture, it's up. We had the posting was on there, and then it collapsed. Fortunate that nobody was in there. That has all been removed now. That's as far as that portion. Building 5 and 6 are combined, they connect. 5's right there, and then 6 is to the front, more of like the auditorium type. When you get inside, everything has been affected on the inside as far as all the walls, leaky roof, the members that have taken it over, graffiti everywhere. So that's the view from the west looking to the east. And right there, when you go in there, you can see all the glass is broken out of all the doors. All the walls are completely been dismantled, broken, cut, as you'll see where they cut them here shortly. They all cut them right in half. Everything's gone. Everything's, as far as from the ceiling, just falling in. And this is typical throughout the buildings. You can see up through the roof. You can see your holes and everything. These were recently added, so we have a lot of homeless activity, especially with the cold weather. Everything on the inside, your standard, when you see a lot of the homeless people around town, they got the shopping carts full of all their collectibles. That's evident throughout everything, especially on Building 1. Building 1's got over 50 shopping carts just filled up with whatever they can collect. And you can see the holes through the roof. So your roof's completely compromised, everything inside. Roof's falling down. These are the shopping carts throughout. So as you drive by, you wouldn't see this, but this is what's on the inside of these buildings. There you can just see nature taking over with all the moisture, everything falling apart. Roof, walls, more holes on the roof. And that's pretty much presentation of all the 6 buildings of what we have present out there.
Thank you, Glenn.
You're welcome.
You gentlemen, questions, sir?
Actually, before you go, sit down. Do you have any questions, Paul?
I don't have any questions.
Jessica? No? My only question would be, the cost to cure, would it exceed 50%?
Yes, yeah, we're way past the 50%.
Way
at this
past
time.
50. So everything would have to be brought up to code, current code?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn.
And I guess we
Yeah.
can have them ask y'all something after you're pretty much just a presentation completed.
Yeah, that's a presentation,
Okay.
and then if they want to come up and speak, and then,
And then y'all can ask them questions of either one of the inspectors as well. But you guys are up.
Yep.
Hello.
Why? Do you need,
Now,
do
you need to be
you need
sworn.
to sworn in?
State your name for the record.
Okay, R.T. Hillary.
All right. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You go.
Hello.
Morning.
I'm R.T. Hillary. I'm representing the church here. What the building official just stated to you is correct. That's what the building looks like and everything. And we've been going through all of your rooms up until now. Well, still now, we're just waiting. We were working on getting the permit. At the end of the last, we just got the final approval from, what do you call it? What is your board? The approval that we got from the city?
The site plan?
Yeah, all the site plan, yeah, everything. No, the one we just got like in October. The last,
Building permit application.
okay. Well, the last thing that we got that they say we can move forward with, that last hearing thing that they just had at the end of last year. And within 30 days, we got a notice that we had to show up here after we got that. And so that's what we didn't want to do anything else until we came to find out. We followed every guideline y'all had for the last couple of years. And the building wasn't like this when we bought it. We purchased the building, but we had to go through all of your procedures to get the approval to be able to have the church there, because we had to go back, what are you gonna call it? to have approval to have a church there. So we had to go through all the city guidelines and everything. And we were basically able to about move in the building without all that stuff being torn down. But just like this gentleman said, the homeless people done come in there and did everything to it. And every time they ask us to go out and put some tarps on and close it up, you'll see, like you said, you don't see this from the outside, but that's what done happened. And that pile of stuff that they showed up there at the beginning, that's on the outside of the building, our property line is like 1 foot and something off of the property line, and they right up at the property line where they came in on the other piece of property right there and came over into our building over there to get in there through the woods. And they came out and tried to run the people off, the city did, because we can't go on other people's property and ask them to do that there. But we've tried to obey and honor everything the city has requested us to do for the last, seems like 5 years or longer, while we were going through all of the process to get approval to have the building there as a church. It was some kind of thing that the state used before, because that's who we bought it from, the state, to come here to put our church there and everything there. So it just shocked me that as soon as we go through all of these years to get approval, and you can't get it done overnight with everything that they want to have done, then we got to notice that they're going to condemn the building and tear the building down once we got through all the steps. Our thing was that, well, let us get through the steps, and thank God they did. They let us get through the steps. But like I said, within 30 days, they said they're finna condemn the building and have it to be torn down. I'm like, well, we just spent all of this money and all these years going through all your city's processes, and then how can you get something done like this in 30 days? And so we didn't even come down to pick the permit up because we wanted to come through this right here and see what else do we have to do, because everything y'all asked us to do, we did. We couldn't go in there and do any of these repairs to the building without getting approval to be able to move forward with everything. So whichever department asked us to do something, we went and did it. And when we first got the building, we started trying to do some repairs, fix up the building, and then we told, no, you gotta wait until you get through these hearings. And now as soon as we get through the hearing, boom, they hit us. I'm like, well, we're following your direction. So I don't know this department, the next department, but we're trying to work with everybody here so we can get this building fixed up. And so our goal is to have it fixed up by the end of this year, you know, and so they can move in there. And I just need to know, will you give us the time to do it? You already told us we can pick up the permits, but then it's like, okay, well now you got a hearing here that you're gonna tell me that you're gonna demo. And so with all the money that we've been spending already right now, it's like, okay, well, we got to go to this hearing to find out what's going on so we can know whether we can move forward with doing this or done, or they're just gonna just demo our building once we went through and said we're gonna do everything that you all said we had to get done to be able to have this church here. So that's really, you know, I sent a letter back to what's the last name? Flickers. Yeah. Ms. Kimberly, right? Yeah, to you as well as the rest of the group, everybody who's in that email. Yeah. And so I just wanted to ask for some time to get this going. Because again, we get approvals, and what you just said, it's a lot of work to get done. It's not gonna get done in 30 days. Because he wants that whole thing redone. And we want it done too. We didn't want to have to get it torn up this butt, but if we can't go in there and get the thing, our hands are tied. Each time we come to the meeting, we can't do anything else. But everything y'all asked us to do, we did, and followed this process. And it's been a very long process, a lot longer than we thought in the beginning when we came over here, you know, because we done looked at our building been like torn apart. And it has been, as you can see from some of those pictures that he had from 22 to 22 up until now. So that's over 3 years of pictures he just showed you right there. But each time he asked us to do a correction to it, we went and did one. And you saw the one wood building that we had there, rest of the block buildings, tore down. In the middle of one of these storm things, it just came down. And we were trying to get that repaired. So we lost that building. But as you can see, they had half of the roof that had just put up on there and everything like that. And they was finishing the framing of it up, and we asked permission to try to get that done. So I just need to know if you will give our organization some more time, that since we got everything approved now to be able to have the building there, and to go ahead and be able to get the permits picked up for us to get moving. Because it's not good for the city, it's not good for us to have people living in there like they've been doing. So we put in the stuff with the police department, but they can't just stay on our property, they take care of the whole city. And so whenever they get called, they come out there and everything like this right here. So we just want to be able to go and do what you all have approved us, what not this group, but the city has approved us to be able to do to the building, is to bring it back up to standards. It's a block building, it's a good building, but it's like the pictures, it shows that it's been damaged.
Yeah. This one's a little complex considering the number of buildings on the property.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair,
What approved, site, what have you got, a site approval or site?
We got everything now. We just got to get the plans picked up for doing the remodeling to it. Go ahead, man.
They received site plan, Kim Flaherty, Permits and Licensing Project Manager. The project received site plan approval on February 2nd of 2024. Upon issuance of that letter in 2024, they had the ability to receive any permits. Here we sit. They applied for, we started working with them in 2022. They finished their special use permit. They had to have that. They obtained that. It was recorded in May of 2022. Our original contact with the property owner was in November of 2022. At that point, they understood, I think there was some confusion. Then they started their site plan process. They completed that process in February of 2024. More time went by, nothing was going on. We cited them, actually gave them a citation, and we're trying to work with them. In April of 2025, we had a staff meeting with the property owners and their representatives and discussed options and working with them to try to get things along to get the project improved. That meeting happened in May of 2025. They turned their applications in, they were missing information, getting all the information together. They finally received permit approval in September of 2025. In September 2025, I sent them an email, your permits are ready, you need to pay the fees. As a condemned property, I follow up on them. If they hadn't done anything again in October, I sent them an email myself directly that the permits are ready, please pay the fees so you can get them. We still had no progress. October 30th, we were sitting in a meeting, we find out the transients and a body was discovered in the property. There's nothing been going on. We notified them again. They wanted to challenge the appeal. We got direction to proceed to the board hearing. Since 2022, they did obtain their special use. They got their site plan in February 2024, but no improvements to the property, and it's just getting worse.
Ms. Flaherty, when did they receive their condemnation demolition order?
The first time we made contact them, because we found out about the special use permit, the site plan process, we held off on issuance in 2022. We issued one in 2024, and then the one parcel collapsed. We issued again to be in compliance with board hearings and all legal requirements. We issued another one in April of 2025, which is what resulted in the May meeting with staff.
And that's what they're appealing at this point?
Yes, April of 2025.
Have the permits been picked up as of today?
No,
Yeah,
once
so-
we issued the notice of hearing in December, I put them on hold pending the board's outcome. There was no need to risk payment being received if the board was going to uphold the demolition order.
And they were ready for issue in September.
Yes.
And what were the permits for?
I'm sorry.
what was-
The staff meeting resulting in letting them, instead of most properties have to do one permit for everything, we agreed because of the 6 buildings to work with them and let them start one at a time. So they were going to do all roofs at once. So they had 3 permits that were ready to be picked up. I'd also like to point out this has been a code issue since 2021. They have a couple recorded liens from code enforcement as well. So it's not just our stuff, it's been on the city's radar for years.
You see that, $23,048 in code liens, plus interest, I'm sure.
So what's the plan?
The plan is get the approval from you all so we can move
Well,
forward.
if we
with
approve it,
everything.
what's your plan?
Sir,
What is your plan if we said, okay?
we want to get moving with repairing the building and get it up so we can get into it by the end of the year.
How much time do you need to get the permits picked up?
It won't be long to get permits picked up if everything is ready to go.
Is everything ready to go?
Just the roof.
Just the roof, yeah.
Glenn Urquhart, Chief Building Official. Now, as he's talking right now, to get in by the end of the year, within a year's time, there are no permits in play right now as far as that have been submitted to do anything on the inside. So that would only be for the roofs.
Right.
And to go ahead and actually get them inside, they would have to get mechanical, electrical, plumbing, all the framing on the interior. And for all 6 buildings, well, actually, because one's torn down, you have 5 buildings. To get everything rebuilt on that, it's going to be a substantial amount of money. I don't know their financial situation, but to be able to get all of those buildings done before the end of the year, and we're in January right now, without any permits even submitted for it, I see that as being a kind of extent. But as far as the roofs, if you get the roofs in place right now, and you put the roofs, then you're still going to have the problem with the homeless. So now you just made it better for them where it's not leaking inside, so you have the roofs on the structures, but you still have a dilapidated structure that is just protected from the elements, but nothing's happening on the inside on the cleanup and all that.
So does that mean you're saying, if I may, Mr. Chair, so that means you're saying that the danger that the structures present would continue even for another year, potentially, if they were to have another year? The dangers to life, health, safety, and welfare.
Yeah, and in this situation, I'm looking more for the residents or on the perimeter, because you have this culture, so to speak, that have taken up residence. It's evident from all the pictures on the inside. So you have all the homeless people that not only on the vacant property, but they're using the structures as far as for protection. So you have them in existence, and then they're all around the neighbors throughout the whole neighborhood. They're on the corners, down by the gas station. We all know where they go. So it's an attractive nuisance, which is one of the big things that we look for, and that's where it's drawing all of the homeless people to come in and utilize the structure.
The site plan approval expires February 2nd, 2026. Site plan's only valid for 2 years.
And would that impede getting a permit for the roof?
If this expires, yes, they'd have to go back before the
They'd have to go
planning board, ask for an extension. I don't know how long that would take, at least a few months. If they approve it, then they'd have to go back through the permitting process.
So we pick up a permit before that date.
So the site plan is for the whole thing. I don't know that a roof permit would stay a site plan approval, because your site plan's supposed to be done, a certain amount started before expiration.
So you're saying even though we can't do any of the work with the permit? So the permits that's down there, we can't do anything with. So everything we've been doing and all the money and stuff we've been spending towards this, really, we did everything you all asked us to do, and then say, okay, well, you can't get it done within a month, or you can't get it done by February, or whatever date you just said. So all of these years, putting all this together, going by all of these steps like this right here, basically, it was a no. We couldn't get any of this done.
No, they've given you 2 years. So the second paragraph, the plans are valid for 2 years, during which time the necessary permits must be obtained for the
But we
project.
couldn't do anything until we got all these final approvals. They gave us that there, but
We've
we're
been
gonna start
working
here.
with you for 2 years to try to get those approvals.
That's what I'm saying. And so now we just got them at the end of this last year right here. And so now you're telling me, and he's saying it's gonna take us about a year to do it with all the engineering and everything right here, but we can only go, and that means we can't even get this done.
We
If he
were
said
ready,
it's gonna
willing,
take
and
us-
able in September to issue permits. That's all that I can say.
You were ready to issue permits in April,
September.
well, in September. Okay, and so, and then we got this notice we in right here. Cause you all told us we can go ahead and get moving, so that's when we were working with the architects and engineers to go ahead and get moving on stuff right here, so we can get stuff submitted to you all. And so then everything was said, came in, say, in the middle of all of that there, so we rose on our end, cause it says, hold up, y'all not doing anything else on here.
In December, we notified you of the hearing. In December of 25 of this hearing.
Yeah, either November or December, one of those right here. And so, with our engineers or architects and everybody that's doing everything right now, like we told them, hold up, because they're telling us something totally different now, while we've been working with y'all all these years up until this point. And now you're saying what you're saying right now, the building is being condemned. Because one department was saying that, like y'all said a couple years ago, y'all put it on hold while we get through the process. And so as soon as we got through the process, so we can get ready to move forward, then within 30 days, it came up and say, boom.
I don't think it was 30 days.
No,
What
I
date was
disagree
the-
with that. We've been trying to get the permit applications in since we started working with you. We've always been willing to take them in and process them. We just haven't received them other than the roofing permits.
You're telling me this, but the approvals that you all told us when we got back, we gotta do this. That's why I asked them, can y'all just tell us all the way through what we gotta do? Because you tell me something, but still going through y'all hearings and doing all these things we've been coming over here doing, that means that we still can't move forward. Everything you're telling me right now, we haven't been able to move forward.
What date
No.
were those permits, the roof permits issued and
They were
ready
issued
to
on
issue?
September 24th, 2025. An
And-
email was sent advising permit applications approved and fees are due.
And they just were never picked up in
Correct.
October and November?
So that was September 24th. I personally did a follow-up email on October the 9th.
Is there any reason why these permits weren't picked up?
When our
When they were
contractors
issued.
told us that they were ready to get picked up,
I'm just sorry.
You're not sworn, sir. If you, I mean, y'all want to talk to each other, you can, but
Thank you.
he told me just to mention my father passed, the bishop of our organization. He passed in July. And so, I wasn't trying to bring that up, I ain't trying to think about it. But, I've been dealing with that as well, but that's still no excuse for us not getting anything done. Yes, he was the leader of our organization and everything like this right here, but,
You need a minute?
this project is one of the projects my father was working on, and I've been working on with him, and coming to all these meetings over here. He passed in July. But we still been, we get the notices, they let me know. I've been following up on everything. Everything that I can get followed up on, I followed up on. So when the contractors tell me something needs to get done, we ready to get moving. I know when I got the condemnation thing, that's when we told them, so, well, hold up, y'all, we gotta find out what's going on, because we've been spending all of this money, doing all of these things that they wanted to do. And, you know, that's why I sent the letter to her, I was, you know, look, just move me away. We just finished meeting and getting our final approval of everything right here. And then it was like, okay, well, now in 30 days, y'all got to have all of this done. And I knew our engineers and architects weren't that quick, but we wanted to get moving back on it. You know what I'm saying? And so just like you said, it's a lot of things. So that's the first thing we did. Looked at the roofing thing and everything that's right here. But it's like, we need to get the whole thing closed in, because like he said, it's just a Band-Aid if you just do roof. We need to, and get the permission to do all of it, so we can keep them out and not just protect the homeless ones that's trying to get in there. That's been our whole goal, is to get the building up. It doesn't do us any good, or the city or the community, with the building there, and you can't go in there and record it. Whether we have it or somebody else have it, they would have to do the same thing we do. Take this whole process, because we can't go any faster than the city allow us to go with all of the meetings that we had to go, because they got code enforcement stuff and hearings, and all of the requests that they have. We want to be good stewards of what God has blessed us to be overcharging. And that's all we try to do, is follow all of the guidelines. And we've been here with you all, just trying to follow. I understand the city, like I said, what he said, the building looks like that, but it don't look like that on the outside. On the inside, on the outside of the property line. You know what I'm saying? If you look, we gotta quit, because that was part of the things with the zoning, we had to get a special permission just to stay a foot off of the property line. It's where you see all of that trash that you see in the first couple of pictures, that's not on our property line over there. Because you literally open the door and it's on the property line of the other piece of property line right there, need to clean up. Right here, yeah, there you go. So we're gonna get all of that there cleaned up. So our property line stops where that wood is, where it says come demo that wood. It's not even that far on that property line, where it stops right there on that fence line right there. But the city went through, we got everything approved. Now we just need to do the work. So we want this whole thing cleaned up. We wouldn't be wasting the time and the money on this if we don't want to get it repaired. Now we just asking for a little time to let us get this going.
I just want to comment on the, as far as what he was just talking about on the outside, it's 10 times worse on the inside. So
Yes.
they've had the control to be able to keep it as stewards of our city, to have it all cleaned up and presentable, but it hasn't. And where we stand, I realize what he's saying about the site approval, the site plan approval, but that was approved back in February of 2024. We're getting ready to be February of 2026 in 2 weeks, which it would then expire. So they had, that has been approved. And just like other developments, once their site plan expires, they got to go through the whole process again. Excuse me. And so then where we are with the permits, we turn around permits very expeditiously. And so when you turn in a roof permit, if it doesn't take longer than a week. So once we tell you it's ready to pick up, you just got to pay for it, then you can start the work. And what sped this whole process up was with the police finding a dead body over there. And it is the attractive nuisance that I talked about before. So being an attractive nuisance, you are drawing people to the inside, and it's clear from the evidence that's been presented, like as far as what's in front of us. All these shopping carts with all of the stuff they get from the convenience stores and everything, it's basically a little homeless home. You know, it's housing all the vagrants, and of course, it's the decision of the board on what avenue you want to go down as far as to move forward. But it's extensive, the amount of work it would take. It's not, yeah, you put the roof on, that's just one. Talking about a lot of money as far as to finishing up, and it definitely wouldn't be done by the end of the year. So, you know, we leave the decision with the board. Our presentation is what's there. Ken has told you as far as the permits. Site permit was set to expire February 2nd, 2026. And usually once you have a site plan, you're supposed to have the majority of the work that you were approved almost 2 years ago. The majority of that should be done when you're given this site plan. So that's kind of where we stand.
Yeah, kind of looks like it's worse than it was 2 years ago.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Well, since you are a licensed contractor, what is your opinion?
Well, I mean, it can be done, I guess, if you got the funds and the, you know, the want. So, I mean, I'd be willing to let them put the roof on and then give them a deadline on getting the, well, of course, we're gonna have to get the site plan extended,
Yes, sir.
at least get some architect and engineer involved to get the building closed up, and possibly, once it becomes a construction zone, then it's a different type of crime to be trespassing. So, and maybe have them, part of it being fenced in.
Fenced off.
Temporary fence put up with signs, trespassing, construction site, et cetera. That'd be my thought.
Right. And you're talking, just for that one main block building and demo the rest?
Probably would be a bad idea. I haven't seen them, the pictures,
Yeah.
do some justice, but it's hard to say exactly what the structural integrity of the buildings are
Right.
without seeing them in person.
We had the engineers to look at that too, so, go ahead.
In listening to, I agree with you as far as anything can be saved. It just depends on how much money you want to spend. So if they have the willingness to spend the money, my biggest thing would be that it would have to be immediately cleaned up. I mean, having all that junk litter and debris, all the shopping carts, because when you walk in, most people wouldn't even walk in the building. But when we went in there, it's definitely the amount of cleanup that has to be done. You'd have to clean up, if you cleaned up all the buildings and what the board tells you that they allow you to do, I would just ask the board if we could have immediate cleanup of all the junk litter and debris on the property.
Right.
This has been impacting the community for 3 years. I mean, that location to your knowledge. Is that right? I say it's been impacting that neighborhood, that community for about.
Yes, 100%. It's, and the thing is, the homeless beg on the corner at that one gas station, the Sunoco gas station on the
Right.
corner of Mason and Nova, and they're always there, and we know where they were tracked back to. So you would have to have not just boarding up, some type of security measure that's a little bit beyond the boarding up. They just rip the boards right off. These guys, they're pros at it. They know what they're doing. But we'd have to have everything cleaned up and everything completely boarded up. And then if they proceeded with purchasing the permits, and getting the permits, and then doing the roofs, and monitoring the property and just making sure that they go by and see what's going on, so we can make this more representative to the community that they're within.
And an extension isn't a guarantee of completion. I mean, if they put a roof on, doesn't mean that it's a new expense.
Right.
That's a way that they have to make those decisions, obviously, but it's an expense that they'll have to possibly lose if ultimately it is still condemned and demolished.
Yeah. Jessica, you were going to say something?
It's been so long and nothing has been approved there. Nothing's been cleaned up, and you had the site plan for 2 years, and I want to approve. You guys have an opportunity to fix this, but it needs to be really done. I'm not sure if your father had an illness leading up to this, but from this side of it just looks like nothing's been done since 2022. You've been notified. You got the site plan approval 2 years ago, and then not even cleanup has appeared to be done. And so I want to approve it to go forward, but we want to see some activity.
We want to give you the activity. Literally, like I said, we just got the go from you all at the end of last year.
In
You just-
September, and then nothing happened in October, and nothing happened in
Oh,
November.
on our end, it does, like you said, we have to start getting the drawings, get everything together, get everything done. To get the permits, and
Roof
everything.
permits were issued September 24th, and were not picked up.
Right, yes, ma'am. The roof permits got done right there, and then we tried to get the whole thing done. We weren't just looking at the roof. We were looking at getting the whole thing done, and still looking at getting the whole thing done.
So other permits were applied for windows and
Yeah,
doors?
they got the permits in the thing, for the inside, wood stuff and different things like this right here. So I thought everything was in there, but she just said about roof, what they was looking at. We were looking at everything with our contractors. We weren't looking at just the roof.
But did they apply for the permits? It doesn't sound like they did. Just a roof permit.
That's all that was applied for.
none of the wood stuff and the windows and doors and all that stuff like that?
No, they only submitted applications for the roofing.
I'll check on that part right there.
Right.
Is there funding to do all the work that needs to be done? Is there a financial issue that has been a delay?
That's what we're going through right now. Just, that's what I said, we were trying to make sure everything that needed to be done was there. You know what I'm saying? Because every time we talk to somebody, they want this here done. Once we got through all of their hearings and everything in September, we was digesting that and going through everything that we had to get done so we can move everything forward.
So you have a good idea of what the cost to bring this building to where the city wants it?
Do I have a good idea of what the cost is?
Yeah.
Did your engineer or the construction company you're dealing with, they must have given you some kind of estimate?
Yeah, they gave us some numbers. I don't have them right here with me, right here with me today. But yeah, but I know we're going to be over $1 million doing this. You know, and so that's what we're working with. All of that right now. We just want to make sure we can just move forward, and the finished door we got to get done. To get none of us like the building looking like it's looking now.
So if there's funding, I just don't understand why the delay of not picking up the permits and actually moving forward when you're able to. I just wonder, my question was just, is it because of finances that there's delay with not getting these things done when the permit's been issued but wasn't picked up and no progress is being made there?
The permit's been issued, but it's not been picked up. There's no progress. I'm trying to make sure I understand everything that you just said, make sure I answer your question right here. When we were told to do this, our thing was look at the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're getting that funding and stuff to get this done, we don't want to start a project that we can't finish. So we were looking at everything, not like she's saying they would just look at the roof. Well, that's they got permits for right there. But we looked at the whole thing because we don't want to do a roof today and something that's tomorrow and something that. So that's what we were looking at the whole project to make sure when we get started here, we go straight through the whole thing.
Okay, well, your site plan was only good for 2 years. The permits are 6 months. So you can't wait until you have everything all at once, unless you're applying for everything all at once, right? I mean.
Yeah, that's we were looking at the part for everything right then. We were just going there to say, okay, we're gonna get started on the roof, and then we're gonna come back and say, okay, well, let's put the windows in and the doors. We were looking at the whole thing for us, but the contractors might look at it differently.
Originally, when we met back in April, and we met with Deputy City Manager Jim Morris, we came in the agreement to allow them to do usually we want them to do everything at once. So we, in this case, allowed them to do the roofs and get the roofs going, at least to show us some progress. And that didn't happen. September, once the permit's approved, once we send the email out to you, you can come get it the next day. You can pay for it online. So it's not where the department is holding you up from getting these permits. And then at the same time, when you have all of this junk litter, and you got to know it if it's your property, that all of this stuff is happening on your property. So it should have been kept clean and prevented from all of this accumulation of trash and everything on the property. So not of, well, this process is holding us up or this is holding us up. That part could have already been done, but it hasn't. And then this is the same look we've been dealing with since 2022. So 4 years goes by quick, and as in this case, and it's the same look. So it's not, and once we approve the permit, you can get going on those roofs right away back in September. So that before we reposted, and the only reason that it was expedited was because, of course, the dead body being found, and then that's homeless people hanging out there. And so when we went ahead and posted, because we're like, okay, nothing's getting done, that was our point of view on it, and that's kind of where we're at.
Right. And we honestly, we don't like to tear down buildings. We do like to see beautification. We don't like seeing vacant lots, which does dot our landscape. However, something that's been left to fester, we can't have that. We can't have, homeless people breaking in. We can't have them passing away that's on your property, but, it's still, city has to take care of. I mean, I personally, I would uphold the condemnation order with stipulations, as far as, you would have, well, what would be a timeline for cleanup and securing that property? When I say securing it, that's boards that, they cannot just rip off.
Fence.
I mean, I would say a fair amount of time would be 90 days, 3 months, to go ahead and have it completely cleaned up and have the roofs picked up within a week as far as the permits. Then begin the construction on the roofs, and they should be able to be in place within 90 days. I mean, if they were already dealing with somebody that was going to be doing the roofs, then go ahead and get the roofs on, get it completely cleaned up. I think that's fair.
And what about, as far as the outbuildings? Obviously, one collapsed and that's
That's
gone.
been demolished, so
The other
that
two
was
look-
building number 4. So you have 5 and 6 that are combined, so then also you have buildings number 1, so we can.
Aren't two of
get
them,
the
they
clicker
look
here.
like, they look
So
like sheds?
You have right here, this is building number 1, they'd have to have that, that's really bad as far as all the junk, litter, and debris on the inside, have to have that all cleaned up, and then all that cleaned up. Tear down the shed right there. Then you're getting in over here, that's building number 3. Of course, roof would have to be on that, as well as everything cleaned up out of there. And then that's building number 4 is coming up, 4 is gone, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. And then another big attractor is 5 and 6, so that's this one, and then the roof would have to be on that as well. So you need building number 1, building number 3, building 5 and 6.
And the permits that are ready to issue or were ready to issue in September are for all of those buildings?
For all the roofs, correct? Yeah. For 3 roofs, which would be 1, 3, and then 5 and 6
6.
combined, so it'd be 3.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is Scott Simpson, Board Attorney. Quick question: if they picked up the permits, say tomorrow, would they still have? It sounds like they still have to get an extension of the site plan to at least work beyond the expiration of the current site plan. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
If you set the permits active and there's actually work out there, would that start? We get to other permits and get the work started on the roof and have an actual inspection prior to February 2nd. That might show active activity. And then have the other permits in prior to
Don't know that
get
answer.
approval on the other permits prior to the 2nd.
So that would be a question that staff can research and get back to you as far as we'll talk to the planning department. And if they say that as long as there's an inspection, so you'd have to get a dry-in inspection, you have to have the roof started within the next 2 weeks. So you'd have to get something started so we can actually have an inspection to keep your site plan active. So, but we could get you that answer as far as from planning department if the board so chooses to do the 90 days with the cleanup and the permits as far as for the roofs.
Okay.
You
And
just need that-
how long would it take for them to get an extension of the site plan? Because just based on the evidence presented, it seems unlikely something's going to happen within 2 weeks.
Yeah, to get an extension, that usually would take a couple of months. But if I think Kim's actually talking to planning right now. But if we can get that answer for you, if you were actually to get an inspection, like a dry-in inspection or something, pick one of your smaller buildings, like number 3, get them working on that immediately, because you can pick up the permits today. You go down there, pick up the permits right after this meeting, you go pay for them and pick them up, so they're ready. And then you could go ahead and start on number 3, a smaller building, and then if you had an inspection on that, then that would go ahead and extend your site permit, but Kim's gonna get that answer for you here shortly.
But they can clean up the site and secure the property with, I would think a relatively high fence, even without a site plan, approved site plan. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah, because as far as security fencing That wouldn't have to be approved within the site plan. That's something that they're looking to secure the property. You just have to get it around the buildings. You don't have to, not your entire property because it's very large, but just around the perimeter of the buildings, and you can go 6 foot. Then you can have locks on it, so that would secure your building. You can get temporary fencing.
Yeah, that sounds like a must.
An active building, just talk to the planning director, an active building permit would keep the site plan alive. So that if you get those roof permits, and they are
So
active prior to February 2nd, it would keep your site plan alive. You do have.
What does active permit mean?
Means he has to have an issued permit.
So if he goes and pays for it and picks it up today, he's satisfied that?
Yes.
Okay. And how long will the site plan be extended for?
It will not be extended. It will be considered compliant so long as there's the active permits. So-
Okay.
so
How long will the permit be active for?
The permit is valid for 6 months.
Okay, so if they pull the permit, who goes down and pays for and obtains the permit, that permit will remain active for 6 months, and therefore the site plan is valid for another 6 months, during which time, in addition to securing the property and cleaning the property, they can also submit other permits for the other work during that 6-month period of time and pull those permits, and that will continue to extend the site plan if they pay for them and get them approved,
So long as they're active, issued.
as long as they're active.
Yes.
And active just means they have to be approved by the city, paid for and picked up by the property owner or contractor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess that sounds like we don't need 90 days for that. As far as, because I'm more concerned with the cleanup. I would say put a stip on that for what, 30 days tops?
Yeah, you could begin the cleanup today.
Yeah.
I don't know as far as who they would utilize or whatever, but you can begin that immediately. I mean, if you're wanting to do due diligence for this project and get it going, get the cleanup crew immediately. Go down today, pay for the permits, pick the
Right.
permits up. That keeps your site plan active. Then we can go ahead and get it rolling on one of the buildings as far as to get like a drying inspection or something. But you can start the cleanup today, and it is extensive cleanup, so I think it'd probably take longer than 30 days, 45 days.
45? Does that sound?
I'd say I'd go with 60.
60?
That way we can review it possibly the next meeting.
Okay, good point.
What's the possibility of on-site security? I mean, from your ability, if that's authorized by it has to be authorized by the chief building official since it's under condemnation. But it's a possibility to have some kind of on-site security. Only because it's a huge lot. And of course, as you pointed out, the police can't go at every the whole perimeter of the lot full time. But that would may be helpful in terms of the safety element. I don't know if any other thoughts on that.
And
It's also the question of, is that something even possible financially?
And if that gets into where it's, because that can get pricey, as far as weekly security, but maybe install some cameras, some security cameras where you can see if there is action, and then get the no trespassing signs up. But we'd also like to make part of the board's decision on what time frame is going to be in there to get the remaining permits in for the interior work and the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, so we can get this project as a whole.
Well, just my thinking, based on the conversation previously with Kim, is if he can pick up his permits, pick up the permits that have been approved and issued by the city, then he can start working on the roof. And then those permits are good for 6 months. He needs to get in and have the other permits for the other work submitted, approved, paid for, picked up during that 6-month period of time, or the site plan could expire. Is 6 months too long to get the permits for the other work?
No, I'd be in agreement with that for the simple reason of the design part of it. You guys already have pretty much a design on what you're going to go with for the interior structure.
It's the same thing that way it was before.
Okay,
We wouldn't
what
add
do you-
anything to it.
what do you think would be reasonable amount of time to go ahead and submit those permits with those drawings for that?
I have to talk to the architects. I don't know their schedule right now. I know we just put everybody on hold. Now I'm gonna jump back in there after we had this meeting here to see if they can move us up where we were before. So,
So as Mr. Simpson stating, 6 months that's a good amount of time, that's all. That'll take you into June, July.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And that would be submitted with the application and then the issuance. So there won't be a holdup on our
I was
side.
gonna say, because once we get it in here, we can't know how long, you're
Oh,
gonna get back to us.
It'll be quick because it's,
That's what I said,
in our,
issue. When you said get your back to us, I can't say that, well, we're gonna push our people around.
yeah, once you get it to us, we will make sure it's expedited. But then when Kim or whichever one of our department, as soon as you get that email that's ready for pickup, just like the September roofs, once it's ready for pickup, that means you come in, pay for it, and then you can pick it up. That's issuance. Right now, a permit issuance doesn't happen until the application's reviewed and approved. So then the issuance would be once it's paid for. So that would be on your guys' side. So we could get it issued within 6 months. So at the 6-month point, as long as you get everything submitted to us,
Yes, sir.
I'll attest that it will be reviewed right away and we'll get it.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so it sounds like we're looking at requiring 60 days for the cleanup and securing the property, getting the permit pretty much immediately to start, because you do have that 2-week window to work on the one, like Glenn said, the smaller roof, so you can show activity that will extend your site permit, removing 2 sheds, and 6 months to get all the other permits,
Say removing something,
removing the 2 sheds.
2 sheds.
Isn't it? Oh, one shed? Oh, one shed, I'm sorry.
I was trying to make sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought there were 2. There's only one. The one that had a dead body in it, I believe he said, next to it. Next to it. Okay. Because like I say, we are going to uphold that condemnation order. And what that means is if you fail to comply with any of the conditions that we're setting forth today, they will be torn down. Okay? And this is kind of like a carrot and stick thing. It's been going on, as they've said, this is going on 4 years. And, it does need to be done. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay, so you want to make the motion?
yeah.
I know, it's- I made notes.
Okay, yeah. So I'll move to continue the conversation with a 60-day grace period.
Now, if I could just say, we're not really continuing it. What we're doing is we should be making a motion to uphold the condemnation order
Okay,
and then granting the property owner the following timeframes.
okay,
Which would be, immediately picking up paying for and picking up the roofing permits that are ready to be picked up before the expiration of the site plan. 60 days to clean the property and put up a security fence. I don't know if any other security measures are in there. And to submit and receive approved permits within 6 months for the remainder of the work.
That's correct.
okay. So I'll move to uphold the condemnation order with stipulations, picking up the permits today, 60 days to clean up the property and get it secured and fenced, and 6 months to obtain the other permits to continue the work
Within the 6 months.
within 6 months.
Right.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll do a, I guess, roll call vote.
Mr. Colbert?
Yes.
Mr. Daly?
Yes.
Ms. Blodgett?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. I guess you want to get with Glenn and Kim, they'll outline, put it in writing for you. Like I say, we really don't like to tear properties down, but we also can't have the blight go on forever.
Understand, well,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
so we, like we work, we like to work with people. We're not, meanie.
Thank you.
Well,
But you are on the stick for today, even though you don't have
Yes.
that paperwork in your hand based upon the announced order as far as taking care of the current permits that need to be picked up. That's part of your order.
Yes,
Right.
because we're gonna do the next 2 weeks.
Say that again?
Next 2 weeks, February 6th, make sure we get all that stuff picked up.
I thought they had to pick up the permits by today, is that what you
Today.
Yeah, no,
said?
you get the roof permit you want to pick up today, and you want your contractor to commence the work before February 2nd. And that will extend your site plan.
Did you,
Run by, have emergency meeting come right back here. Because I gotta tell the board everything that just happened.
what board?
It's our organization, I don't go in there and tell them everything to do that. We've been waiting to hear from you all what we had to do. And so,
Just didn't want you to fail by the time you walk out the doors. I mean, this is some part of the order is that it get taken care of today.
Right.
Unless they want to modify it, but that's the
can
order.
y'all modify, at least let me talk to the board. I don't go in there.
Is there a reason why they wouldn't want you to pick up the permits that have
No, I'm
been
just saying, I
issued?
need to go back and tell them, they didn't know I had to, I've been waiting on this meeting to find out what we gotta do. My job is to go back and report it to them, let them know what y'all just said. So what I heard you saying was,
Well,
we had to have everything done
the important
by
thing
the 6th.
is you have to,
February 2nd.
Right.
The 2nd, so I knew when you were saying that, I had time to get to the board, get all the stuff right.
Can you get it done by
I'm saying
Friday?
that you
Can
wanna-
you get it done by Friday?
This Friday.
can you meet with
Yes.
your
Well, yeah, I can get it done, we just spoke to them, yeah, 'cause I'm gonna talk to them today.
Okay.
Okay,
So, yeah, so that's
So
what
we
I'm
can do
saying.
the permits by Friday?
for the roof?
Okay.
Yeah, because, again, you want to commence before the 2nd,
Yeah,
February
that's what I
2nd.
heard, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking, because I know I had time to
Right.
do that there. That
Well,
was just
you've
right there.
had a lot of time, so you don't want
No,
to be
I
extending
know,
yourself
but,
too far.
yeah, it wasn't like you saying right now, this was second, but like
Right.
you saying anything to them, yeah.
Okay.
Right,
So, yes.
all right, so you amend the motion
I'm in the motion
to allow roof permits
for
by Friday, 5 PM. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, okay.
Thank you for making it clear.
Yep.
All right.
I would have failed, because that's what I was going back, get each other, not more.
Okay.
All right, thank you all.
Well, that's it.
Good luck.
All right, so we don't have any reviews. I don't think we have any new business. Saying that, I call this meeting at 10:16. Thank you all for
And
coming.
and I apologize for messing up my calendar and not having it on the calendar, so that's
No, it's
Scott
okay.
Simpson.
Yeah,
here,
glad
board
you could
attorney.
make
I
it.
apologize for that, for any delay caused.
Okay.